Okay, welcome everyone to our Friday class today. I'm Stephanie Green, and teaching with me today is Megan Anderson. And oh, just a minute. I need to email the link to a gal who's trying to get on. Just a second.
Oh, exciting. Well, while she does that, I'll hop in and chat for a second. But I'm really excited that you all have joined us this week for our weekly Naturally You class. We have so many tips and so many tricks to help you guys through your essential oil wellness journey and how to really, I always say naturalify your homestead. You can get natural remedies for everything. And it just makes us healthier, and it makes our bodies be able to better adapt to the onslaught of chemicals and things like that we get on a daily basis. So I'm super excited. Today we're going to cover over the different generations. So we're going to start with pregnancy, actually. I was going to say babies. So pregnancy all the way to golden years. So I'll let you.
You know what? I'll just share while I'm sending this email, and you can just get started.
All right. Yes, and have your friends join every week Friday. Invite your friends. We'll be here teaching everybody about natural solutions. So I think, do I have, I don't need it yet. So, all right, so these are essential oils for every age. So the reason I'm taking this one is I just got done being pregnant, what it feels like the last 5 years. So I laugh, but it's been pretty much 5 years I've been pregnant or breastfeeding the whole time. And so pregnancy was really a big area where I was so thankful to have essential oils for, because you're so cautious when you're pregnant. You don't know what you can use. A lot of stuff that you used to use, like for headaches and colds and things like that, you can't use when you're pregnant. And the idea of just suffering through it all just didn't sound like my cup of tea. I even had a friend who I just felt so bad for. It was before we had even found oils or anything, but she had morning sickness that was like all day sickness and all night sickness, and she was just sick all the time, and the poor girl had to just kind of muscle through it because she didn't know what she could do. And that at the time that the doctors they had some prescriptions, but she didn't want to do that because she really valued natural things. And so when I came along and I got pregnant and I had these natural things, I called her up and I said, oh, I wish I would have had these for you. So don't let my story be your story. Share with your friends all these solutions, because there's so many solutions. Here they have the Lifelong Vitality. Oh man, I tried other prenatals when I was pregnant, and I was exhausted. I had no energy. I just felt terrible. And so at the time I had thought the Lifelong Vitality was short and folate, but then after I consulted with like 6 or 7 midwives and through 2 pregnancies, everyone said, nope, they're good. So I went back to my Lifelong Vitalities, thankfully, and I had energy and I slept well, and the aches and pains, oh my, I had 2 10-pound babies. Aches and pains were definitely my jam. And I didn't walk very well, and I didn't move around very well just because I had such big babies. But the Lifelong Vitality helped with the aches and pains. And if I didn't take them, if I missed them for 2 days or 3 days in a row, I knew it. And even after I had my son, I remember calling Stephanie and telling her, because I had stopped the Lifelong Vitality. I'd run out and I just hadn't ordered more. And I was getting around to it, and my back hurt so bad. And I got my Lifelong Vitality finally back in the mail, and my back the pain went away. And I remember calling Stephanie and I told her, if I ever tell you I don't need these things, remind me of today, because it was just the relief that I needed to be able to move and to run around with my son and be an active mom like I wanted to be. So that's Lifelong Vitality. It's whole food-based supplements. It has things for your joints, things for your inflammation, things for energy and sleep, all tied into those wonderful little bottles. The next one is Slim and Sassy. That one I always would put in my water to get me to drink more water. or tea. I would just heat up a cup of water and put a drop of Slim and Sassy in there as a tea, and it was so good. It helps with metabolism, but then it also helps with energy and nausea. And so that one, while you're pregnant, that's a good one. Aroma Touch, that one, towards the end of my pregnancies, if I didn't have that little bottle of Aroma Touch, I would not have been walking. Every night, I would have my husband do an Aroma Touch on me, which was more than just the bottle, but the whole sequence. And I could walk all the next day until like about 3 or 4 o'clock. And then I was pretty much like couch ridden because my hips hurt so bad and my lower back hurt so bad. And every night this would take that pain away. It was amazing. I love Aroma Touch. And then Copaiba is a new one, new for my second pregnancy, I should say. That one, so it's a calming for the mind. I bet that's what it was. So I had high blood pressure a lot in my second pregnancy, and the doctors were really nervous. So I live in Juneau, Alaska, and we don't have a pediatric intensive care unit for newborn babies. They don't have, I think they only have one OB in town. And so basically all that to say is, if you're anything sort of risky, they fly you out to Seattle. It's 900 miles south of here. You get flown out, and they don't take chances on anything. So high blood pressure that might not have been a big issue anywhere else in the country, that in America, it's an issue here in Juneau because we just don't have the resources. So I had to find solutions to get my blood pressure down, so I didn't get having to spend 3 months in Seattle, away from my house, away from my home, away from my family, away from my son, in a hotel in Seattle because I had high blood pressure. So Copaiba, I would take that every single day, and it would help me with my stress and my anxiety. And I was also going to school at the time, and so finals week was a doozy. And they were just like, okay, you are like one appointment away from getting shipped out. So Copaiba really was amazing for that, just calming. And my blood pressure stayed, it was a little elevated. It was like 130s over the 110s. So it wasn't like horrible, but it's just it stayed elevated throughout the whole pregnancy. So those are ones definitely must have. If you know somebody who's pregnant and you are thinking, what can I get them? Especially for like second pregnancy or third pregnancy where they already have clothes and all the, fun things for baby, just get this kit for them. That would be amazing. And then point them right here to learn how to use them. So right to our class, right to our group. So we can move on to infant and toddlers. I don't think I can scroll yet. Stephanie, if you want to just scroll. Thank you. Perfect. Infants and toddlers. So this is where we are right now. Frankincense and balance. Yes. 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 Get this for all your mom friends. Frankincense and balance, and not just for the kiddos, for mom too. I use balance like every day. And frankincense is very calming for the nerves. It amplifies any essential oil you put it with, as well as so our daughter, my second born, has major eczema issues. We're working on her diet, and we're working with our naturopath and finding natural solutions for her eczema. And but she just has lots of scabs and lots of itching. So we use frankincense on her. Frankincense on her legs, on her arms, on her skin to help heal those rashes. Myrrh, that one definitely had in my go bag when I went to the birthing center, because that is the one that you put on the umbilical cord. Umbilical cord. I don't know. One day I'll speak English well. And so, but Stephanie Fritz is an amazing midwife with doTERRA. And she was saying, that umbilical cord is kind of the connection to the rest of the body. There's a point in that umbilical cord that goes everywhere in the whole body. And so by putting that myrrh on there, it kind of caps it and really supports every single system in the body. Tamer, you can use that for tummy issues. Anytime they have, gas, upset tummy, anything like that, Tamer is definitely our go-to. And then the unscented lotion. So we have that one all around. We use that one, and also I make some of our own lotions too. But you can mix that with lavender, Roman chamomile for at nighttime. Um, yeah, we use a lot of lotion. I don't use the unscented one, but we make a lot with the lavender, frankincense, and copaiba for my daughter's skin, my daughter's eczema issues. But I use the unscented lotion myself a lot because it's just so easy. I can put elevation in it. I can put all the emotion oils in it. There should be a mom section in here. How to survive mommyhood. So I put that. I have the unscented lotion for myself and in my car and in my bathroom and next to my bed, so I can just put those whatever oils I need for emotions right into that one. All right, so kiddos, 2+. So we're moving into this area. Probiotics. Yes, 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 yes. I cannot talk enough about probiotics. I just got my certification as a holistic nutritionist, and what I learned about probiotics, I never knew. It's like, how did I go 30 years on this planet without ever taking a probiotic until I found doTERRA? And this is the reason. So we're taking a trip in a month. We're leaving Alaska. Isn't that exciting? And we're going to Vancouver for my son's birthday, and I ordered extra of the PB Assist for him and extra of the probiotics for us, and we're doubling up our efforts leading up to our trip just to stay well. I know you know much more than I do out there in the real world of the diseases going around the world right now. It's definitely bigger than we hear it up here in Alaska, but yeah, we're going to be exposed to germs on the planes, in the air, in the airports, just traveling in general kind of weakens stress, stress weakens us out, and traveling is stressful for me. And so we're building up our probiotics, building up our gut health right now in preparation for that trip. And then the supplements. So my son calls these smiley faces, and for the longest time, I'm like, why do you call your vitamins smiley faces? Well, if you look at them, there is a little smiley face on the vitamin. So he will run around and say, smiley face, and he knows he gets two. So you can hand him one, and he'll stick around and say, nope, 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 and he'll get the second one. So obviously, kid tested and approved for taste. I remember we used to have the one, hey, that's awesome, Jana. She said her daughter calls them smiley faces too. Um, yeah, and for those of you that grew up in the 90s, the Flintstone vitamins are what we took, and they tasted horrible. They just were gross and chalky and stuff like that. The fact that Rook runs up to take these vitamins, I think, is a testament to how good they taste. I like them too. And then the omega fatty acids are very important for brain development. It's what our brains are built out of. It's what our brains need, and when our kids are developing and their brains are growing so quickly in these young years, it's just so important that they have a quality omega oil. And I also have 3 dogs, and I was talking to our vet, and our one dog has skin issues, and she goes, oh, get a really high quality omega oil for him. I said, oh, okay. I said, how do I know what a quality is? She said, put it in the freezer, and if it doesn't freeze, it's good. She goes, 97% of the omega oils out there will freeze, and that means it's rancid already. So I went and I grabbed my my son's omega oils and threw it in the freezer, and it does not freeze. So you can trust doTERRA's omega oils for being quality omega oils. On Guard Touch and Beadlets. Man, what did we do before On Guard? I mean, I'm seeing everybody with their hand sanitizers, around the world right now, and it's like, sanitizer, so you're not killing all the good bugs along with the bad bugs. And so On Guard, we use that night and day, and we use it mainly as a preventative. I'm all about staying healthy. I'm public health background. I would much rather prevent getting sick in the first place than having to help get better quicker. And so On Guard is our number one. We hear somebody cough, we put On Guard on. We see somebody sneeze, we put On Guard on. And I'm the one, even in church the other day, somebody coughed, and I'm getting the On Guard out and getting him on both kids and getting it on us and getting it on my husband. And I'm just kind of, On Guard is my jam in the winter. And then on to the kids collection. This one was really cool when they launched it. Was it 2 years ago, Stephanie? I think it was 2 years ago when we were at convention together. This one I just absolutely love. And my son already goes to his diaper bag and pulls these out and uses them on himself. He'll take the cap off and he'll put it on the back of his neck. It empowers kids to take care of themselves. And those little flashcards, so my son's a little young for those, but older kids, read them, and it says right on there what is the name of the oil, what it's good for, and it's color coded, so it's super easy to follow what is used for what and when and how and where to put it. And they have everything from calming. We use calming, the Console one, all the time. Then there's a kids kind of on guard for immune support, tummy one. Also then for the emotional support. Man, if I would have had that as a kid, I think my elementary, middle school, high school days would have been a lot better if I could have had some support for just all the emotions our kiddos feel. And then, and they feel all these big emotions, all these adult-sized emotions, but they don't have the tools or the knowledge or the wisdom on how to manage all that. And if you can hand them a tool that they can use themselves when they need it, when they know they need it, they can look at that and say, hey, yep, that's the one I'm feeling right now. Even to be able to identify that, I just think it sets kids up for a much better, much calmer, much peaceful, much more easy-keeled journey through childhood and into young adult world and middle age. Am I middle age yet? I don't know. I'm going to say middle age. So yeah, so those are the ones that we use day in and day out, plus more. So throw it over to you, Stephanie, because you're more versed in the adolescence area.
Okay, so yeah, I get adolescence. But before I jump into this, I do want to introduce a couple of my friends who are on this call today, so that you guys can all know who they are and they can know who you are. So if you see Shelly Whitehead, she's Shelly Whitehead and Autumn Moncrief. They're both a couple of my really very dear homeschool buddies. We are in this homeschool trenches together, and they are just getting started on their oil journey and learning about oils and how to use them with their kids. So for their benefit, I'm going to tell them who the other people on the call are. So Megan, you just heard from her. She lives in Alaska, and she and I met through doTERRA, literally through doTERRA. And then Jamie and Jana are sisters that are building doTERRA along with us. And then Sandy is Jamie and Jana's mom. So Sandy, I was just introducing, we have two new people on the call, Shelly and Autumn. So just kind of letting them, know who they are. So I get to do adolescence, which is fun. I'm laughing because if you have teenagers, you just gotta laugh. Do you ever have a day when like your teenager is happy and lovey and you think the world is wonderful, and then the next day that same kid is a monster and you think, where in the world did this kid come from? That's teenagers. So adolescents, we use oils all the time at my house with my kids, and we've been doing it long enough that my kids are they understand how oils work, they know that oils work, and we use them quite a bit. So for starters, on here with adolescents is the HD Clear Skincare. We have used that. My kids don't have a lot of problems with their skin, but they do have some. They do get some acne, and we've used the HD Skincare and liked that. But honestly, I think our favorite, my son's favorite thing to do is he has a bottle of Copaiba, and I'll scroll up. It was in one of the other ones. I'll scroll up so you can see it. This one right here. He has a bottle of Copaiba that he just keeps upstairs in the bathroom. And every night when he goes to bed, he just rubs Copaiba on his face, unless he forgets. And I can always tell when he forgets because he'll get a little bit more of a breakout. We have the HD Clear Skincare, and we've used it, but I'm going to be real honest here. I have boys. Boys don't like to wash their faces. They just don't like to wash their faces, especially if it's going to involve having to put soap on their face and then put moisturizer on their face and then put an oil on top of it. I mean, those of you with teens, am I right? They're just not, they don't want to do it. Girls, I don't have girls, so I can't speak for that. I would imagine that girls might be more open to it than boys, because when I was a teenage girl, it was something I did as part of my regular routine. But my boys, it's just not something they really want to do. So what we've done is encourage them to wipe their face with a washcloth, and then they just put Copaiba on their faces, and that's really been helpful. Jana says, my son doesn't like it. My daughters use it. Okay, so maybe it's a boy-girl thing. The Copaiba's been great. Another thing that I'll do when I'm looking at my boys and I can see that their faces are starting to break out a little bit more is we have what I call ouchie spray. And I've done other classes where I've given the recipe out, but it's a combination of oils that has antibacterial oils and healing oils in it. So that one, I'll have them spray that on their faces, and that along with the Copaiba will clear it up pretty quick. So I like the HD Clear. If you have a kid that will actually wash their face and then put the moisturizer on and then put the oil on. If you don't, ouchie spray and Copaiba are the greatest things. And I can post the recipe for ouchie spray when I post the video in the Naturally You group. It's our Facebook group, and Shelly, I sent you an invite for that Facebook group, so it should be, you should see it.
Please do, and then if you could link where you get the spray bottle, that's what's stopping me, but I really, really want that.
You can get them from doTERRA. doTERRA has them now. If you just, yeah, I used to buy all my spray bottles from, I mean, you can get them on Amazon, you can get them from Aroma Tools or Oil Life, any of those places, but doTERRA has them in, you know what, I'll show you where they're at. Just while we're thinking about it.
Yes, I've been meaning to make your ouchie spray for like, what, 5 years now? So I need it now.
So I'll show you where to find it when you do your order. It's in the shop tab. I'm gonna come up. My computer's being kind of slow. Yeah, I've gotten to where I buy everything here. Come on, shop. It's down, I think, in here in accessories. Right here. You've got them. They have these 30 milliliter ones. They don't have the 4 ounce ones, but they do have the 30 milliliter ones. But you can get them also from Amazon. Amazon's usually the cheapest, but these are pretty darn cheap too. $5 or $3.75 with your wholesale membership for 3 bottles is pretty darn good.
That is a good price.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll put that in the comments when I post the video. But that's been a lifesaver for us. So Lifelong Vitality. Megan talked about it for pregnancy. It's also great for your teenagers. They only need the half a dose though. So the Lifelong Vitality is going to help them with their nutrition, because I don't know if your teenagers are like mine. They try hard, but getting the right foods into them sometimes is a struggle. So it helps with their nutrition. It also helps with the thing about that I'm noticing with my teenagers is they are growing like crazy. My boys are just growing really fast, and their bodies are changing, and the nutrients in the Lifelong Vitality help to support that really, really well. So Lifelong Vitality is great for teenagers. I wish I could say mine take it all the time. They don't always, if I remind them. Terrazyme is another one that's really good for the teenagers. I give it to mine a lot to help keep their gut working like it's supposed to work. I give it to them. If I forget to give it to them, they don't take it because they're teenagers. But we get it, do the best we can. So emotions for the emotions, oils for supporting the mood, and are essential, it says, and that is true. We use the Adaptive. I really like Adaptive. I use the roller bottle. I have the capsules on hand, and I give those to my kids. They'll ask for those, actually. Especially my second son, when he's having days where he's just kind of feeling like he's going like this, up and down in his moods, or he's just struggling a little bit with it, I'll give him the Adaptive capsule. Another thing that I like to do is I use my diffuser I really like to use my diffuser. And I love to diffuse Citrus Bliss during our school day to help my kids with their focus and also their crabbiness. Sometimes they just get crabby. I don't know. I think that every kid does that, but sometimes they're just crabby and they don't want to be nice. And so I will use my diffuser, and I'll diffuse oils like Citrus Bliss is one of my favorites. I also really like to diffuse Douglas fir. That's one that seems to be a good one in my house. And anything you put in the diffuser is going to help with the mood in your house. And then Clary Calm. I don't have girls, but I've used this myself. This one is to help support the hormones that, as you know, girls go through every month, that they need their hormonal system supported. And the Clary Calm really does help with that. It helps with cramping. It helps with the emotions and going up and down. It really helps with all of the hormonal stuff that your teenage girls are going through. I have not used it on my boys. I haven't tried it for boys, so I can't really speak for that, but I know that it will help with girls and their emotional changes that are going through. Before I go on, any questions or comments you guys have about teenagers and oils? Anything you've tried or not tried, or things you're wondering? Okay, I'm going to move on then to adults, and this is us. Now, the thing that's interesting is, if you notice, you're seeing some of the things are repeating as we go through the different categories. Oh, did you have a question, Autumn? Go ahead.
It took me a while to figure out how to unmute my phone.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, totally fine.
How about, my son has a hard time falling asleep, and then sometimes in the middle of the night he'll wake up and he'll be awake for like 2 or 3 hours and he doesn't know why. Do they have like some kind of a melatonin or something for that, or what do they have?
I use Serenity oil. That's my favorite. We use it a lot in our house. My 2 oldest boys, my second son likes to diffuse it in their bedroom to help him go to sleep and stay asleep. So Serenity, since I have doTERRA up, I'm going to pull up Serenity because there's a couple of different products that have Serenity in them. So you've got here, this is the Serenity oil, and this is showing, I think, the retail prices because I'm not logged in. So the prices, your wholesale prices are going to be less. This one we put on the bottoms of feet, or we diffuse it in the bedrooms, and that helps. This is Serenity Bath Bar. If you've got kids that like to take baths, they can take a bath before going to bed with the Serenity oil. This one right here, I've used and really like. It's an herbal complex as a supplement that is a mixture of oils to help fall asleep and stay asleep. Oh, my battery is running low, it tells me. Let me plug that in. That one I like. And you can get it in a combo pack. I should log in so you can actually see the wholesale prices. Just keep in mind that these prices on here are retail. So when you log in to buy them, it's going to be a lower price because this is the retail prices because I'm not logged in. But Serenity is probably my favorite sleep oil. Anybody else? You guys that use oils a lot want to answer Autumn's question?
I can jump into, I have that exact same problem, and because if I wake up, I'm up, and especially if I see a light, I'm up. And so if I really open my eyes, there's street lights that come in our windows and everything. And with my daughter waking up throughout the night, she's 7 months now. If I'm up, no matter what time she gets up, if it's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, I'm up for the whole day. And I was getting really frustrated because I was getting really tired and I was getting like a half hour of sleep. So we busted out the Serenity, and just like what Stephanie said, I'll put it on the bottom of my feet before I go to bed, and I will fall asleep faster. And then when I wake up during the night for her, and and I want to get back to sleep, then I'll put more on the bottom of my feet, and I will drift off into sleep quicker. And without it, I would not fall back asleep at all. So
Yeah. That's what I like to do is if I wake up at night, I will put the Serenity back on my feet again, and it usually knocks me right out.
Yep.
But
Same here.
anyway, Jana says, I have a friend that takes Serenity soft gel and a Copaiba soft gel every night to help her sleep through the night. So you could do this one, and then Copaiba also comes.
Can I share, Stephanie?
Yes, go ahead.
So we use Vetiver too. Vetiver is a really great one. My daughter uses it too, and I always tell everyone to put it on their big toes because your big toe is the reflex point to your brain. So when you're putting the oils on your big toe, it's helping to calm and shut down all the stuff going on in your brain that's preventing you from sleeping. So I always emphasize that. But whether it's Serenity, Vetiver, Roman chamomile, lavender, balance, we use lots of different things.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up about the big toes, because that's what we do too. Sleep oils go on your big toe. And I used to do, back when my youngest, my Jonathan, was a baby, he really struggled to sleep. Sleep was a big issue with him. And I used to do a mixture that I called knock you out oil because I wanted to knock him out. And I did Serenity, Vetiver, and frankincense. But then he's 7. About 5 years ago, doTERRA reformulated the Serenity blend and added Vetiver to it. And since then, I haven't needed to add the Vetiver and frankincense to get the same result from the Serenity. So we call Serenity at our house knock you out oil. But any other questions? Okay, I'm going to go back over here and talk about adults. So
Sorry.
or go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Seriously, that's why we do these classes, is for you to be able to ask your questions.
So my daughter Glynis, she gets really constipated and backed up and stuff like that. And so I know you guys were talking about the probiotic and different things. I just don't know like how much to give her, and or I don't know the dose. She's a 6-year-old. Should I do the oil or should I do a pill? What should I do?
So for kids, they have this PB Assist Junior, this one right here, and it is formulated specifically for kids. And what it is it's a little pouch, kind of like looks like a pixie stick, and you rip off the top and just dump it down your throat, and it's like a pixie stick. It's a powder. My kids use this one all the time and really like it. So that's what you would use for Glynis, because it's already formulated for small bodies.
Is it the one that says kids collection?
Yeah, right here where it says, no, not kids collection, straight over right by the picture where it says PB Assist Junior. I got my mouse kind of hovering over it if you can see it.
Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
I could also, there's that one, and that one is really helpful. Another thing that I've done for my kiddos, I have one that struggles with constipation also. Lemon in the water is really helpful. And then I put peppermint on the bottoms of their feet, and I use a reflexology chart, and I rub the colon spot with the peppermint. And oftentimes, I mean, once you've done it a few times and you kind of know the feel of your kid's foot, as you rub along that colon line, and I can show you when I see you on Tuesday, I could show you on Glynis's foot even. If you rub that colon line with the peppermint oil, you can feel the blockage. You'll feel where it's at, and you can work it out.
Cool.
I've done that with my kids before many times. So the PB Assist, lemon, and peppermint are 2 that I use for that.
Okay.
Even if you just started with the PB Assist, I'm gonna just jump in there. It is seriously, it's a pixie stick. It's so easy. My 2-year-old son runs and grabs it, and he grabs the spoon, and then he dumps the powder on the spoon and eats it that way. But it tastes so good. That's what I even used when I was pregnant. I just absolutely love that, and it helps get you going regular, getting him going regular too.
My kids just rip the top off and dump it down their throats.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Is it long term?
What was that?
Is it okay to use it long term?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's meant for
it's
that.
it's a probiotic that's meant to be used daily, long term. Mhm. Yeah, with probiotics, I mean, Megan can answer this question probably better than I am, but your body actually needs probiotics on a regular basis, even if you don't have digestive issues. When you do have digestive issues, it's more of a concern, but
We could do a whole class on that, actually. That might even be helpful if somebody wants to learn, because yes, we need it every day. It's just our bacteria systems are getting attacked. Attacked is a bit of a strong word, but an onslaught of the things that we're eating and not the right food for them. And so we need to be bolstering that, because that's 80% of our immune system is in our gut, as well as the whole emotional side of your gut. So your gut actually produces 90% of the dopamine in your whole body. We think of the brain as producing those feel-good hormones, and it's actually our gut. So we could do a whole class on that if you wanted to. That would be fun.
we should do it, and you should teach it because that's your specialty. Okay, so I'm going to go down to adults. And seriously, if you have questions, just pop in and ask your questions. That's why we do this. I'm not going to spend any more time on lifelong vitality because we've talked about that. But seriously, I can't really say enough about these vitamins and how good they are. When I first started with doTERRA, I struggled to buy them because I didn't want to pay $80 for a set of vitamins. Then when I went out and looked at the cost of vitamins other places, I realized that that's actually pretty good. But I used to have I have really loose ligaments throughout my body. And I used to have a lot of joint pain in my hips and in my knees and my ankles and my wrists, a lot of pain, to the point that when I was in my late 20s, I had to stop exercising. Because if I ran or if I danced or if I did anything that was like high impact, for days afterwards, I would be like, I couldn't even walk. I was so sore I couldn't even walk because my joints just hurt. I started using Lifelong Vitality 8 years ago, and I take it every day, and I don't have that problem anymore. So I'm 45 now. When I was 43, I started doing CrossFit, and I do CrossFit 3 to 5 days a week, and I don't have joint pain anymore at all. I can run, I can climb ropes, I can dance, I can jump, I can do all of that, and I don't have the joint pain that I used to have. And I attribute it to the Lifelong Vitality, because that's the one thing that I changed that made a big difference. So if you want to learn more about the vitamins, we can teach some more, but they are really, really good. Yeah, go ahead.
You said that a bottle is 80.
All 3 of the bottles together is 80.
And what comes in, and how long does that last? Like, is that a month's supply?
It's a 30-day supply for one person. But I am going to say this, they are very strong vitamins. I take a half a dose, because if I take and it's different for other people, but if I take a full dose, it's just too much for me. I can feel it. So I take a half a dose. My husband and I split one bottle or one set, and it'll last us for 30 days. So you have, I'll zoom in. I'll talk a little bit more about Lifelong Vitality because it's really good. You have these 3 bottles. The Microplex VMZ is your multivitamins. It's got all your minerals and vitamins in it. The XE Omega, that's your omegas. And it's also got a blend of 9 different essential oils that are good for, they call it, one of them's the Tummy Tamer blend for calming your stomach, because some people have a hard time taking vitamins. It upsets their stomach. And then they also have frankincense in there and some other oils that help with inflammation in your body, to decrease inflammation, which I think that's part of the reason right there that I don't have the pain that I used to have, why I couldn't exercise. And then the Alpha CRS is a herbal complex that is specifically to help your cells to divide like they're supposed to and follow the life cycle that a cell is supposed to follow, and so that they don't mutate and do crazy things. And what it does really, truly, it's called the Cellular Vitality Complex. What it does for me is it helps me with my energy levels. And I can tell sometimes I get busy and I forget to take my vitamins. And if I do it for a couple of days, then I start having to take a nap in the afternoon, or I start just feeling run down and worn out. And so here's an example. Tuesdays and Thursdays are my big days because I drive to Twin Falls. It's a 30-minute drive, teach classes, and Autumn and Shelly, you know what I'm talking about because you guys do it too. Teach classes, then drive home. And usually if I don't take my vitamins, then by the time I get home, I am so exhausted that I have to take a nap. If I do take the vitamins, then I can keep going and I'm fine. But the vitamins make a huge difference for me. So what I do is I buy the vitamins every other month because, like I said, my husband and I can split one and it'll last. Actually, I buy them every month because we split one and it lasts us a month. And I rack up my points in my loyalty rewards buying the vitamins, and then I use those points to get some of the oils that are more expensive oils that I don't feel like I can afford to pay the money for them. Like helichrysum, for example, is a really expensive oil, but it's one that it's in the algae spray blend because it's a tissue regenerative oil. And with my boys and how busy they are and they get hurt a lot, helichrysum is one we always have to have, and it's a $70 oil. So I save up my points and then I cash it in for things like helichrysum and frankincense and melissa and those more expensive oils. Any other questions? I'm going to zoom back out a little bit so you can see more. So Terrazyme, this is digestive enzymes. This is to help your digestive system to work effectively. You need enzymes in your body for your body to digest your food. And so you have digestive enzymes and you have metabolic enzymes that help with your metabolism and help with your, with your metabolism. So the digestive enzymes help you to digest the food like you're supposed to. And a lot of the time, well, not a lot of time, all of the time, our immune system can be very compromised by our digestive system being out of whack. So you'll see a lot of times people who get sick a lot also have a lot of digestive problems. So the Terrazyme is meant to help strengthen your digestive system. And it says take 2 to 3 at every meal to help support digestion and promote gut health. This it's in the adult section, but your teenagers can use it and your little guys can use it. I had my second son when he was born. He had he still does have digestive issues, and he would throw up every time he ate. Every single time he ate, he would just throw everything up. And when he was about 10 months old is when I first learned about digestive enzymes. And I would get a capsule of the enzymes and I would break it open and put it in rice cereal and stir it in and give it to him. And finally at 10 months old, he was able to start eating solid foods. He couldn't eat anything solid before that because it would just throw it up. So we started using Terrazyme or digestive enzymes at that time. We didn't have Terrazyme yet because doTERRA didn't exist yet. But now I keep Terrazyme on hand at all times because that same boy has digestive problems. He struggles to digest things like wheat and corn and soy. Those ones are the big ones for him. So I give him that Terrazyme all the time to help him with that, and he will come and get it too because he'll recognize his face will start to get a little puffy and his eyes will get a little bit of puffy, and that is one of the signals that he's needing to take more Terrazyme to help with his digestive system. And like I said, teenagers are hard. It'd be great. I wish I could say he takes it every single day and has no problems, but he doesn't. He forgets and I forget, but we try to remember. And we also, he's really good about staying away from corn and soy, really good about those two. He does okay with wheat if it's a non-GMO wheat that I grind myself and then I make bread or I make pancakes or whatever. But if he eats white bread or store-bought breads, then he'll have trouble. So anyway, so we use Terrazyme and I grind wheat. Anyway, and then lemon. is a good cleanser for your body. Add 2 to 3 drops to your water for a gentle cleansing. There's so many benefits you're going to get from lemon by adding it to your water. It does cleanse your body, but it also helps to level you out too. That's levels me out emotionally. It also, I struggle with my blood pressure being too low. I will faint easily. And so I like to put lemon in your water, and that helps to regulate those issues. It helps to regulate my emotions, and it just is a gentle cleanser for your body. And it's an easy thing to do. And lemon's the cheapest oil that we have. I buy it every single month, and we put it in our water all the time.
What's the difference between the oil and the actual, lemon that you buy at the store?
Okay, so the lemon oil is taken from the rind, not from the
Okay.
fruit. So
Okay.
it's alkaline, so that the fruit, the juice of the fruit is very acidic, and
Mhm.
our bodies don't like acid. When
Mhm.
we get acidic, that's when we get sick. And so a lot of people put lemon in their water, which is great. I guess, I mean, it makes it taste good, but if you're using the juice, it's hard on your teeth, the enamel of your teeth, but it's also just really hard on your body. And
Mhm.
so
Okay.
the lemon, it's taken from the rind. All of that, and also is lime and orange. They're all taken from the rind of the fruit. So
Hmm.
you get the benefits without getting the acid.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, yarrow palm. This one, it says consume 1 to 2 drops morning and night to promote a healthy metabolism and immune response. Apply to the skin to promote a look of young and healthy skin. This oil is an amazing, amazing oil. It's got so many benefits for the body, not just for your skin. I mean, the skin, it's great, but internally it helps, like it says, it helps metabolize with your healthy metabolism. It helps to build your immune system. Funny story, I love yarrow, and yarrow is also a good wound oil. Like if you have somebody slice their hand or get a good cut or anything, you can put a couple drops of yarrow on it. They'll be blue for a little bit because yarrow oil is blue naturally, but it takes the pain away like that. Instantly takes the pain away. And then it helps with the regeneration of the skin and the healing. So I was at convention, and I think this was the year Megan and I were there together a couple of years ago. We were at convention, and they were announcing all the new oils, and they said yarrow, and I literally jumped out of my chair, and everything that was on my lap flew across the floor because I was so excited to finally have yarrow oil, because yarrow is such an amazing healer. It's healer, and it's a support for your body in general. DDR Prime says take 1 to 3 drops internally or apply topically daily to support the brain and cellular health. DDR Prime is really good for your brain health. Actually, Shelley, you should look at this one. We need to talk some more about this one with the problems you've been having with concussion.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
This one, and I just remembered, or I would have told you this the other day, you could put it right on your brainstem, and it helps with your brain function. It also really helps with how your cells divide and multiply, and really helps them to do it right and not mutate, which is a big deal. Tri-Ease, this is your take 1 to 3 as needed to combat seasonal allergies, and is a safe replacement for over-the-counter seasonal meds. This one is really good for, it's got some oils in it there. It's a combination of lavender, lemon, and peppermint. And it's got some good natural antihistamines. It's great for that. It's also great for, you could open up a capsule and rub it on mosquito bites, bee stings, all of that kind of stuff, and it would really help with those. These are in the adult section, but you can use them all on your kids too. Okay, the glory years, it says. This is a little beyond all of us, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. This is for, as you start to age, your bodies change. All of our bodies change. Fractionated coconut oil, you're going to use for diluting the oils. I dilute them anyway, but especially if you're working with someone who's older, your skin starts to thin as you get older. And that's why my grandpa's in his 90s. His skin is really thin and soft and very fragile. So you don't want to be putting oils right on the skin of someone who's older, because it can be too strong, and they can have a reaction to it. It can turn them red. So using the fractionated coconut oil to dilute is an absolute must with older people. I do it anyway. I have, my kids and my husband are all very sensitive skinned people. I have some that if I don't dilute, then they just turn bright red. So we dilute everything all the time. And then once again, you've got your Lifelong Vitality. This is a new product right here, the turmeric double chamber capsules. It says here it supports a healthy cardiovascular system and inflammatory response. So as we get older, we deal with more inflammation in our joints, and the turmeric is a great thing for that. I'm just going to put my little shameless plug in for turmeric. I love turmeric because I get really sore. This week, for example, I did so many rope climbs. I climbed the rope, I can't even tell you how many times, and my shoulder has been sore. So I take turmeric in a capsule to help with the inflammation that I get from exercising, and that helps a lot. It really is. Turmeric is amazing. And then the bone nutrient complex to help maintain your healthy bone and keep your bones strong. And we all know as we age, our bodies do deteriorate. And these are some things that can help slow that down, or at least help us as to not have to deal with it as much. So right here, you can make your wish list. This is just an example of if you wanted to put together a kit that had a little bit of something for everybody. This kit itself would come out at $185, buying the Lifelong Vitality, the Terrazyme. When you buy Lifelong Vitality, you can add Terrazyme for half price. It's only $20 when you buy Lifelong Vitality on your loyalty rewards. Then you have the Tamer blend for your little guys, the DDR Prime and the Balance that you can use. And the PV on this would be 133 points. So you would get, if you ordered before the 15th of the month, you would get the free oil of the month, and you also get your free product credits if you did something like this. This is just an example. So that's everything we wanted to show you. Any more questions or comments?
I don't have any more questions, but I was kind of, what would help with, like, do you think, I can't think of the name of it all of a sudden, Parkinson's,
Parkinson's?
for someone that's in the glory years?
I'd have to look those up, but any oils that are going to support the brain would be good ones, I think. I mean, you just want to, now, I mean, obviously I'm not qualified to
Yeah.
take a diagnosis or anything,
Right.
but what I would do if it were me, I would start studying oils that are supportive for the brain,
Mm-hmm.
and anything that is supportive for the brain, I would use. So that's how I go about, this is how I go about learning how to use oils. I use Google searches. I use the Modern Essentials book and the Modern Essentials app. I think I showed you that. Did I show you the app?
I don't think so.
Maybe, I don't remember. Okay, we got to get together again. But I just look up anything that has to do with supporting the brain, and I try it. That's the thing that's amazing about using oils, is you can try different things and see what the outcome is going to be, and it's not going to hurt you in any way. It's only going to help you. So I
Yeah.
just try it. But some good brain oils is going to be DDR Prime, frankincense, sandalwood. Anything else, Megan, that you can think of? Those are the ones that come to mind first and foremost for supporting the brain.
Yeah, and I really like your system of just thinking what body system is the issue in, and then finding oils for that body system. So that works, like what you explained, works for everything. But I would also say omega oils
Yeah.
Because even, I mean, we think about omega oils just for kids, but it's all ages, and especially if we have, you know, health issues with our brain, our nervous system, anything like that. So I know it's marketed for kids, but I take it. We all take that omega oil.
Well, and it's the right here, your XC omegas. It's part of the lifelong vitality.
Yeah, and actually that whole complex is really good. Just giving your body the nutrients that it needs, because if your cells don't have the nutrients they need, they aren't going to respond well to the oils. Like my joke is always like, you can't go eat at McDonald's every day, put an oil on and expect the oil to work. And even our diets these days, even if you had all organic, all vegetable, all plant-based, all, you know, everything, you still wouldn't be getting all the vitamins and minerals we need. So you know, having those vitamins and minerals is really, really important.
Yeah.
That's a good question. But yeah,
Really
I
good.
like your system, Stephanie, about like, yeah, you just think about what system it is and then finding oils and supplements that fit, that support that system.
Any other questions anyone has? Comments?
I was just gonna say with that too, Boy Truman's got some really good suggestions with Parkinson's.
I'll
So-
show you that. Shelly, I'll call you when we're done, and we'll set up a time you and I can get together, and I can show you. And Autumn, you and I need to get together still too. I'll call both of you. How about that?
Sounds good.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but the Symphony of the Cells protocols are another thing that I love to use. And they really, like, my kids got really, really sick the last few weeks ago, and they were really sick. And we were doing Symphony of the Cells protocols on their, putting oils down their spines a lot to help them get over the being sick and just to strengthen them.
That's a great suggestion. Yeah, I love that.
So anyway, any other questions? Okay, then I am going to end the meeting. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and thanks for your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll talk to you later.